Chapter 13. My Friends Up in the North. 13.1. Thomas. Sasha, for me, and we all called him Thomas, was probably the first I met and made friends with in the North. He was of the same age I was. I was Valentine's dragline excavator trainee loading the dump trucks on a sand quarry. And Sasha worked as a crane operator in the same area. We shared a room in a large house similar to what we had in the south at mountain tourism campsites for hotels. Thomas proved to be a great guy. He was a normal young boy, slightly over 20. He loved to fish, to drink, to listen to good music, and chase women. With the women it was quite mutual. They all liked him. He came to the north with his friend Sasha the General. I'll write about him in the next chapter, right after the army. That's what I should have done myself. It would be nice to write a couple of lines about this Valentine guy. He was my first and the last mentor in the north, and an experienced mechanic too. Once he confessed to me that he liked my aunt, who was a very nice woman. But he drank like everyone else there. Like a fish, that is. And it was sickening to watch him when he was getting real shit-faced. Especially when I saw him pissing in the sink. And we all had washed faces at that sink in mornings when we were setting up to work. Once in his apartment, many of them got apartments from the company back then. A day before the New Year Eve, we had a drink with him. I felt so bad next morning that I couldn't think about alcohol for a month. Well, I was so young and a holy one. In the 90s, all our workers had real hard time. Him too. Well, at least he had an apartment. Otherwise, he would go homeless. He looked bad. Last time I saw him in 2000 at my aunt's husband's funeral, who had died of cancer, who also was a character I wrote about. Anyway, Valentine drank silently for the peace of Grisha's soul. Then all went to have a smoke and Valentine stayed in the room. I didn't smoke for a year by that time. I asked him if he had given up smoking too. No, he said, just don't have no money for cigarettes. Right then I bought him a pack of cigarettes. I never saw him again. It was said that he had died too. Then I lived in a dorm next door to Sasha. It was fun there. It was always crowded and smoky in his room he shared with Sergei the Viking. These were 2-bedroom apartments serving for a dormitory in a good 5-story building. In the dorm rooms there usually were 2 beds and a TV set. Sasha and Sergei had Sasha's real tape recorder Astra for the TV set, which was always playing back music. People from the former Soviet Union who are now over 50 must remember these recorders. See pic below. Sasha worked as a crane operator and made good money like all in the North by Soviet standards. The money he made he spent mostly on clothes and women. Sometimes he could drink hard, which was okay for all of us. Say that he had been aggressive drunk, but I only once saw him being real aggressive. I managed to calm him down. It was not easy, but then it was necessary to prevent a brawl inside our group. When he came to the north in his first winter here, Sasha was very cold once, and since then he had constant problem with his prostate. Nevertheless, he always had women around, and he was very proud of it. I remember him once boasting to his friend Sasha the General about him getting laid with a new one every fucking day at Sasha General's apartment in the summer when General and his wife were off on holiday, and asked him to watch the apartment for them. How he could do that? He wasn't handsome. Later, however, I was told, by General's wife, by the way, that on the account of each day, Sasha jumped the gun a little bit. And they said he wasn't that horny, for that matter. How did she know that? I would probably never know. Well, Sasha could exaggerate a bit, so what? I could embellish things a bit myself. But I can't lie. I tried, but it never worked on me. Overstating is not a lie. Just overdriving a bit to make things clearer. Anyway, if Sasha even had a new broad every week, not day, it was still a great deal for him. And they all were beautiful. I saw them. How he could do that? For example, I don't remember him ever dancing at discos. Neither had he asked someone to dance with him. Usually he was staying by the wall and watching. But he tied up with an ordinary Ukrainian girl, Ludmila, with her 2-year-old kid girl. She was General's Olga friend. Since he has left us at Sasha the General's birthday to see her home back in 1990, he stayed with her. Officially, he married her 13 years later. Sasha hasn't made any kids with her. I don't know, was it because of his prostate problems or because of some of his wives. She came to the north from Chernobyl immediately after the accident. But he brought his adopted Nadia as his daughter, and now he is a happy grandfather. He has 3 grandkids now. Sasha, he's a real man. I could only guess why women loved him. Again, he was no killer on looks, and I don't remember him beating too much around the bush with women, as well with his wife and stepdaughter. But he, in addition to his charm, which he certainly he had some reliability in him, and sure, he had his ways with women. He is not a schemer, so he would never have made a career, neither would he make any successful politician. And he has always voted for the communists or Zhirinovsky. Yeah, he was fucking flesh of the Russian folk. But he had the real makings. He was the real provider. He was good at fishing. Fishing was his old passion when he was young. It was only women he loved more than fishing, and now the fishing was everything to him. And at gathering berries and mushrooms as well. No one would ever go hungry with him around for sure. My wife constantly praised him and held him as an example to me. By the way, when she once saw Sasha young in some of the black and white photos that General was showing us at his birthday party, she said Sasha was cute in them. I would never get women. We hardly communicate with Sasha after we had moved to another city. He hates computers, so no way to get him through social networks or even by Skype. Somewhere after 2015, his wife died, the echo of Chernobyl. I was amazed by the fact that I never remember her being ever sick, or at least sad.